It is all too common nowadays to see children giving up on their hopes and dreams of football because of their parents being either too pushy or abusive towards them when they're playing. I have decided that I'm going to investigate further.
Name?
Connor McCusker.
And how often did you play football?
Played games once, twice a week. Trained once or twice a week as well.
And were you ever abused?
Not personally. I've witnessed it though, and the effect it has isn't good in any way. Definitely not.
Witnessed in what sense? Physical or maybe racial?
Physical, no. Racial on one occasion, yeah. When a teammate was racially abused by coaches of the other team,
And
and it wasn't nice. Wasn't nice to hear some of the stuff.
can you expand, like what was said? What age were you at the time?
I think we'd have been 14, 15, so 4 or 5 years ago.
So a 14-year-old in the West of Scotland in Glasgow, racially abused
Yes.
by a grown man.
One,
As good as.
1, 2. Yeah, effectively. Yeah.
And what was said? If you
Um,
don't mind repeating, obviously.
I don't really want to repeat the exact words, but it was what you'd expect for the boy was a Muslim player, and because he was playing very well, he was playing exceptionally. He was actually a pro youth player. Because he played so well, the coaches were trying to obviously get at him and noise him up.
And do you think this had an effect on your abilities as maybe a footballer, like to take it further?
Not really. No.
Thanks very much, Connor.
No problem.
We really appreciate your input.
Cheers.
Thanks. Hi there, Callum. Thanks for joining us today.
That's no problem.
So the reason I've chose to interview you is really because although we are brothers, I know about your past in football. So can you just maybe tell the viewer a little bit about yourself and your footballing history?
Well, I've been playing football since I've been about like 5 or 6, and I don't know, I went through various clubs. I was playing pro youth for a little bit when I was a little bit younger. I don't know, I've just been playing football all my life really, and just always enjoyed it. It's always been really good fun. Always just been a laugh really.
And in your experiences, have you ever been a victim of like abuse?
Well, yeah, probably not to like a certain extent, like of really ridiculously bad like abuse, but definitely from people like just shouting at the touchlines, like parents and also coaches, just like kind of just saying stuff, and it gets on your nerves, and also it kind of affects your confidence a little bit. Like if you're having a bad game, and then you have these parents or something like shouting at you, like other people's parents, you might not even know them from the other team or something, just shouting things at you, and it really just distracts you from playing the game. And then it can wear away your confidence if it's like your own coach or your own parents and they start shouting at you, and you know, like in those experiences that I've played in, and I know I've been playing bad, and then when people are like shouting at you as well, it just gets on at you, and you just feel worse, feel bad. You come off the pitch, you know you've not played well, and you've had people shouting at you, abusing you. It doesn't make you feel good. You come off and you're like, this is terrible. I wish I hadn't came.
And if you could say something back to those coaches, what would you say now? If you had the chance to sit down with them and
Just
talk.
like, what? Don't really understand. Like I can see where they're kind of coming from, in the way that they're so determined to win, but at the same extent, it's just kids they're playing with. Like I remember I was like 7 or 8, and I had coaches saying stuff to me that obviously I didn't understand, and I don't know, at the time I was kind of like, is this the normal? Is this what's meant to happen? Looking back on it, I know in my experience, if I was a coach, I wouldn't treat kids that way, like the way that I was treated, like yelling at them, just saying stuff that just I didn't think helped me at all play football. If anything, it just wore me just made me not want to play. My confidence was kind of like shattered, and don't know, just didn't make me enjoy the game. It took the game that I loved playing and just mucking around with my friends and kind of made it into something that I didn't like an ugly side of football. It was, and it just wasn't good.
You have had a couple of incidents with other players, but like, do you think that affected in abuse, like in abusive terms, like for example, a guy once punched you in the head? Do you think coaches helped there or hindered that?
I think certain players and certain teams, like not to be picky and not obviously going to say names, but certain teams and certain individuals in those teams, I think have, like they follow their coaches. Their coaches are aggressive, and because of the way their coaches have trained them all their life to be so aggressive, to be so fourth man, and it creates the players, and it makes the players into something like almost like, I don't know, they don't play football, they play dirty, and when that happens, you're no longer playing a game of football. It's like a dog fight. Like literally, you're actually like trying not to have the ball because you know you're going to get tackled really badly. And in my experience, I've actually been in a fight before with a guy who I took the ball off him and he just started hitting me, so it wasn't
And
good.
finally, Callum, have you ever experienced parents on the pitch?
Yeah, on one occasion there was a fight that broke out between two players, and I remember I was standing out left near like the opposition touchline where all their parents and coaches were, and obviously the fight got quite heated. A lot of players started running in, and I remember I was stood at left thinking like, there's no point in this. Like I couldn't really be bothered if I'm being honest, and I just saw parents fly past me from the opposition bench and also from my team. I saw parents run onto the pitch and they started properly having a go at each other. Like I'm talking about they were kind of fighting as well. I remember I kind of like jogged over, like you kind of have to like to try and break things up, and I jogged over. I just remember seeing parents and adults fighting, and I was like, this is pointless. It's like a under 17s game. There's no need. It's stupid.
Thanks very much, Callum, for being interviewed for this documentary.
Yeah, it's cool. All right,
Wish you the best with future endeavours.
thank you. See you in a bit.